Happy Wednesday. How you doing? They're still doing a lot of cleanup from that storm that rolled through here beginning around midnight Sunday and into Monday. There were like over 400,000 people lost power. Trees went down. Power lines went down. A lot of flooding next door in Providence, Rhode Island. Whole downtown Providence. It was like under 2 feet of water. All the businesses, water went into the stores. Fucking mess. Trees went down on cars. It wasn't too bad around here. We got our usual flooded areas, low-lying areas. We go to Surgery at the ocean, at the beach here. I think about 20,000 of us up the west end lost power. A few trees went down, took down power lines. Nobody was killed or seriously injured. That's the main thing. And they're still doing a lot of cleanup. Schools were closed. So we're still doing some cleanup. And I'm going to do something now that those of you that know, I always do my Happy Friday Weekend Review Roundup. And those of you that have known me for a while, at the end of the year for New Year's, I do a year in review Uncle Sanford Project Claim Roundup. And I usually do it like right before New Year's Eve. However, I'm doing it now because, hey, you pickle sniffers, you caught a break. You didn't get to see me for 3 days, last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, when we had my grandson Artemis for the weekend. Well, guess what? You're not going to see me for another week. That's why I'm doing this now. And now with Christmas coming up, we got a lot to do. We're leaving on the 26th, day after Christmas Day. Flying out of Logan Airport up in Boston at 4:15 in the afternoon. We're going back to Arizona. We'll be back on January 3rd. We're going to spend that time out there with Auntie Billy's mother, sister, brother-in-law, niece, and nephew, and friends. Her dad died around the same time. In fact, he died like a week after my mother died. My parents died 8 months apart, around 7.5 years ago. Her father died shortly after my mother. And I'm going to spend New Year's with her. I'll get to see my friends back in Scottsdale. That's where I was living during that time. I met a few guys out there. We rode together. A couple of them are Mongols. They knew what I was about. We got along okay. And then they hung out with a chapter in Phoenix, and I hung out with them. I never had any problems with them. That's why I met Auntie Billy through friends of friends of friends. So I'll get to see my friends and her family and her friends. So we're going to be gone for a week. So yeah, you can start cheering now. Yay, no Uncle Brian for another week. Yay. The things I do for you pickle sniffers to make you happy, I hope you fucking appreciate it. Seriously. And with things coming up tomorrow, back to the VTH on Friday. We'll start getting things ready Saturday. All last minute packing. I gotta get Uncle Zeus ready, take to my daughter's house. She's gonna dog sit with him whenever we go to New Hampshire for our weekends with our friends up at Franconia, Notch Loon, and Cannon Mountains, one of my daughters, my daughter Chelsea, the one that's expecting, stays with Uncle Zeus. My daughter Brittany, she stayed with Uncle Felix because she's got a couple of cats. She's the one that's got my Artemis. She's got 2 cats, Russian Blues, beautiful fucking cats. And they got them all. Well, this year, it's been a good year for some people. Some people, maybe not so good. And life is life on life's terms, This year here had its highs and its lows. Its lows, I lost my sister back in March. And then my grandson Artemis arrived. So that was the high point of the year. Lost Uncle Felix a little while back now. So normally he'd be staying with my daughter Britt and her 2 boys, the Russian Blues, Cujo and Tojo. That's their names, Cujo and Tojo. One has a lot more white in them though. They were twins, abandoned brothers. And my daughter went, she didn't have the heart to break up the 2 brothers. I picked up Cujo, the one that's all gray. And he kept looking back at his little brother. They were like real small, and the little brother's looking at him. Yeah. I didn't have the heart to break them up, so I took both of them. So she won't be staying with Uncle Felix. So anyway, what I normally do is I wrote a few things down. I'm quite sure that I missed several things. So my 14, but I'm not bragging. 14, loyal, faithful, loving, trusting, devoted Uncle Brian groupies. This is your chance to jump in and contribute and fill in the blanks. I'm quite sure I will leave many blank areas that I've either forgotten about or we're not aware of. Here you go. Type now or forever hold your peace. I wrote a few things down. These are just the main things that jumped out at me. I was in my year, Uncle Sanford year in review project claims. Success rate. Where to start? Some of these may be a little in and out of order, but just, the heavy hitters. Baby bought a rocket. Yay. It's retired, right? Yeah, I guess now with his new, smaller shop, here there's no asphalt out there. It's all dirt and gravel and grass. You won't be able to go out there once in a while and do a burnout, to him. Throw and impress his pickle sniffers, you know what I mean? Once he starts tearing that place up, too. And so, Baby bought a rocket. He swore. These are all his claims of 2023 that he put out, going in late 2022 and early into 2023. These are his claims he's put out. Okay. Baby bought a rocket. He swore up and down he was going to get it to a quarter-mile track, a real quarter-mile track. And he was going to run a full quarter-mile and produce a real 10-second slip. Car's retired. You never see a track again. Those tires, you never see fucking asphalt again. Okay. Plan 9 gets a little interesting. Maybe he said, he'd never sell any of his projects. They mean too much to him. Any project, he'd never get rid of them. They mean too much to him. Well, he doesn't have Plan 9 anymore. He swore he was going to get that to a quarter-mile track. And he was going to run an 11 and produce an 11-second time slip from a real quarter-mile track. Well, he doesn't have the car anymore. I heard two versions of what happened to it. One was that he pulled the engine and it went to a scrapper. He sold it for scrap metal. The other was, he did pull the engine, but it ended up, he sold it to some guy, Shane. I have no idea who it is. Somebody said, oh, no, I heard some guy, Shane, has it now. He's going to build a 340 or a 360 for it, and he's going to finally do something with it, because Sanford threw his hands up in the air and said he couldn't do no more with that thing, with that 6-cylinder. There was nothing else he could do to it, so he gave up on it, so he got rid of it. But there's two broken claims right there. One, he said he never got rid of any of his fucking project cars, and he said he was going to run an 11. So he broke two claims with one fucking piece of shit, Mazda Miata. That thing never made it to an autocross event. Like that thing was going to pass fucking tech inspection? Give me a fucking break. That I do know. Someone told me, yeah, even admitted he pulled the engine on that. And these two 6-cylinder engines now, maybe that ties into another one of his projects. I'll get to that at the end if I can remember. Yeah, I wrote it down, so I'll remind myself. Like that thing was going to pass any sort of fucking tech inspection for any fucking event. So yeah, he admitted he pulled the engine. And he sent it to a crusher. He sold it for scrap metal. Or scrapyard. I just hope the scrapyard took that wooden firewall out and the wooden transmission tunnel he hand fabricated himself, before they crushed that into dog and cat food cans, so that way, any wood splinters, could get mixed in with the food. A dog or cat could fucking choke on that shit. It could be harmful to animals, you know what I'm saying? On my laptop. And I'm getting a lot of messages, things going on now that's coming up, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm not trying to be rude. And back to the VTH tomorrow. That concerned the VTH, something that I need to be aware of. They went to a scrap. He sold it for scrap metal. What happened to his project of rebuilding? The Harley dirt bike. Remember that stripped out, fucked up, rusted out, rotted out fucking frame? Yeah, it's sitting there. I think it was so fucking bad. I think that Mike on American Pickers wouldn't even want to offer $1 on that fucking thing. It was sad. It was stripped, completely gutted. He's going to turn it into a dirt bike. Remember that shit? First Howie dirt bike. yeah. It's gone. Another one of his projects. He said he'd never get rid of his project. That thing got sold for scrap metal. Speaking of motorcycles, the Buell Blast. That was the one he blew the fucking transmission during his New Year's Eve gala spectacular extravaganza at his World Global headquarters with my ex-boyfriend, a Cabbage Patch Kid, his stooges and all their girlfriends, where they sat in a row of chairs that looked like they were going to play a fucking fucked up version of musical chairs. And Sanford sat in a rocking chair with his wife yakking and reading off a fucking laptop. And to break up all that excitement is when I think I heard about they put the wheel against the wall, did a burnout, and the transmission blew. But he didn't care. He was going to rebuild that single cylinder, sticking out the front like the engine had a fucking heart on. Those Buell Blasts were a fucking joke. 500cc. They were pigs, like 32 horsepower, something like that. Real fucking pigs. A joke of a fucking bike. So with their bigger bikes were okay. But that Blast was a fucking joke. You might as well buy a fucking scooter. It's going to bore it and stroke it and turn that thing into a beast, and it was going to eat up, Honda CBRs and Kawasaki Ninjas and, Yamaha FZRs. That thing was going to be a fucking beast. There's no way he could turn a single-cylinder Buell Blast into a fucking street-burning crotch rocket beast that no Jap bike could ever keep up with. You know what I'm saying? That thing got all, I told you, remember this thing was sitting in a junk pile, fork was off, a frame was off. That thing got all potted out and junked. Another project, he said he'd never get rid of. Was he going to rebuild some badass, cheap inline 4-cylinder engine? Straight 6, 4-liter. Did that ever get built? Yeah, another Slant 6 he was going to build for something. Did that ever get built? The Charger. Didn't make it to the Power Tour, did it? Right. His buddy, is he still buddies with that guy too? I had mentioned recently, hey, we have all Sanford's friends going, He goes through friends like shit too. He uses them for content and leech off them. If they're doing something on their channels, he sees us getting views. Hey, I'm going to talk about that shit too. I'm going to do that shit too. I guess this guy here, some guy from Canada, he got some interest with what he does. He converts 4-door cars into 2-door cars. I guess that's what, maybe Sanford, that's where Sanford got that idea. That's why Sanford, as much as this pickle sniffer sniffers pickle, Sanford sucks the nut and licks the asshole of a lot of guys on here. They got something going on that is actually interesting, and they're actually getting shit done on their channel. You got to give them credit for that. Wow, they're getting a lot of views. They're making some money. Hey, I'm going to do that too, except he had fucking Al do it. Then he kicked Al in the fucking nuts and in the teeth. We know the end result of that. Going to convert that, MC Hammer car. He didn't do shit. He built an engine that he can't own up to and admit it's a fucking pig. That guy was going to come all the way from Canada to take the Charger in a Power Tour. Like I said, the reason Sanford don't want to go out and drive in a Power Tour is that he's kind of safe in his little safety net zone around his little area there without a fucking driver's license. Because in those parts there, I had mentioned this before, I got 2 cousins in Tennessee. I know the fucking deal down there. I got a friend in fucking West Virginia, a real good friend in West Virginia. Unlicensed drivers is so fucking out of control that they got tired of taking up jail space. Now they just write you up like a fucking speeding ticket. Unless you get into a bad accident or you do something really outrageous. And cops, they keep stopping the same guy over and over. Cops don't even want to be bothered anymore unless the guy's speeding, doing something reckless. Him again? Oh, I don't want to have to pull him over, write up a fucking ticket. They're like, fuck it. He knows he can get away with that shit. But on a Power Tour where you're traveling, 1,000 miles, you're going to other states, or out of his little safety zone, he may not be so lucky. That's why you don't want to get behind the wheel of a fucking car in any fucking Power Tour. He needs other people to do it for him, because he will get his ass locked up. And he knows it. Didn't even say with Baby Border Rocker, the reason he went to an automatic was that not everybody can drive a 4-speed. So the purpose of that car would be so that anybody could just come and take it to a track and race it. It's an automatic. Anybody can drive it, even a little old lady. How many people were chomping at the bit to go drive that fucking car? Nobody wanted to get near that thing. They were probably afraid to fucking drive it. That thing was so fucking unsafe. No front suspension, no shocks, bouncing all over the fucking place. Come on, I'm getting carried away here, ain't I? So where was I? Yeah, that charger and the power to it. That guy never showed up, did he? Oh, well, the car wasn't ready. Gee, all of a sudden, all these problems popped up. Electrical this, wiring this. I had the car 10 years. I never had any of these problems. No. Yeah, he had it 10 years. It sat there fucking like a lump of fucking dog shit in his fucking lawn on his fucking house. Didn't drive it, didn't start it up. That thing always had those fucking problems, especially when you got a car that's a flood car, submerged underwater. That's how I got banged up when it was floating around banging into shit. And that quarter and frame got all fucked up. All the wiring harness, water's, it doesn't react well. Wiring harnesses, connectors, wires, lights, bulbs, switches. You know what I mean? Nothing worked on that thing. You even said one time, oh, none of the gauges work, nothing works, nothing electrical works. No, I got a whole dash from a Coronet. They're pretty much sister cars. Got a whole dash from a Coronet that's good. I potted out a car. That's all he's ever been good for. He's a fucking junk man. Potting and flipping cars. He's a fucking junk man. That's the only thing he's fucking good at. Just going to swap out the whole... But then he had other problems, so the car wasn't going to be ready. So you even talk to that guy anymore either? Or did he get his use out of him? What else we got here? See, that never made it to the power tool. Electric go-kart. What happened to his electric go-kart? Was he going to build an electric go-kart and race his newest best buddy in the world, that fucking Dr. Doolittle guy? He's got an electric go-kart in a Tesla or something. I guess Sanford's been watching a lot of Scotty Kilmer's. That's all Scotty Kilmer's ever been good for, too. Talking about products. Don't use this brake fluid. It'll destroy your engine. What? What does that have to do with an engine? I don't. Just listen to me. I'm Scotty Kilmer, motherfucker. If I'm telling you this brake fluid will ruin your engine, don't use it. I actually thought for a while. I haven't watched him in ages. That guy's a fucking hoot, too. Is he still in New Hampshire above me? I know a chap that we get together with up in New Hampshire. I think I told you. One of the guys fucking knows him. He said, that guy's a fucking drunk. Big time fucking drunk. But hey, he's made money on here. You know what I mean? It's fucking yakking. I even thought that this guy was being paid to sponsor by certain automotive products to bash their competitors that they really didn't want to do without getting into legal lawsuits, So they'd have Scotty be their mouthpiece for them here on YouTube and pay him and sponsor him, you know what I mean, to go after their competitors. Anyway, just my random thoughts on that. But I guess you've been watching a lot of him, and that's why he's talking about everything. I guess what's next? I was going to talk about what kind of windshield washer you should use. Antifreeze. Who knows? So that was the deal with the Charger. Now, last but not least, we get to this mule car. What happened to this mule car? All his engines, he's going to be swapping in and out of it. Hey, maybe that's why he scrapped the Miata, saved that 6-cylinder. Why he got rid of Plan 9 from outer space, saved that 6-cylinder. He's going to use these two as test engines in the mule car. And he's got that, was it a 360? 362? Is it a board? 360? 362? Somebody told me he painted it yellow, so it looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool. He ran it on propane or some shit like that. Another one of his test engines in his mule car. How's that coming along? Well, almost at year end here. Now he can't even take it out in the fucking parking lot and do a fucking burnout. He's going to start tearing up gravel and kicking up rocks and dirt and chewing up grass and shit. And being a fucking nuisance there again like he was at Storage Rocket City, like he was at his World Global headquarters. You know what I mean? Leaving a bad taste in the mouth of his neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Somebody even mentioned me, he said, when you get leases on these places, they usually go a year. Somebody even said, I won't even say it. I won't even say it. I've read some things I won't even say. It's true. I won't even say it. A year can go by here and he becomes such a fucking pain in the ass, turning the place into a junkyard, making noise, doing this, that, irritating the fuck out of the neighbors here that I want to go there in peace and do what they're doing. And time to renew the lease. Sorry, pal, I'm not renewing your lease. Maybe it could turn out exactly like I said. And at this point, the way his channel is slowly on the decline cannot be denied. His views are going down and down, which means his income is going down and down. He openly said that other place was too expensive. He can't afford it. Gee, I wonder why. You know, you could end up back at his fucking garage at his house, sitting next to that blue road runner that's gonna been sitting there forever. You know, and you could end up right back where he started. Not even have to pay a lease. But then again, he wouldn't be able to pay the fucking lease anyway. At that point, he might have a hard time paying the fucking, water bill and gas bill and telephone bill and electric bill with his fucking house at that point, at the rate he's going. Sanford is his own worst enemy. I am the least of his fucking worries. I am the least of his worries. The only person taking him down is himself. He is his own worst enemy. Why? His big ego, his big narcissism, his big need for attention, his big fucking mouth with all his claims and projects and self-glorification and glorifying all his fucking junk. And he's very predictable. There are terms to describe certain people, One I just said, some people are their own worst enemy. They don't even realize it. Another one is, and I think this fits Sanford perfectly as well, it's just an accident waiting to happen. Just an accident waiting to happen. It's going to happen. It's not a question of if, just a question of when. So anyway, that's the deal. That's why I'm doing this now, because I won't be here like I normally do it, like the day before New Year's Eve, the last day of December. We're going to be gone beginning next Tuesday. And tomorrow at VTH. I'll try to find a little bit of time. Friday, got a lot of things to do, pack up, get ready. Saturday, I got more things to do to get ready, get the house all secured. Both my daughters have keys to the house. They'll check periodically, make sure nobody broke in or anything like that. Yeah. And I got to get Uncle Zeus over to my daughters. And then, Christmas Eve, we're going to be with our family. Christmas Day friends. The only thing I feel bad about is normally all the extra people, there's a lot of people to visit, especially with the crew and outside friends. These are the people that normally we get to between Christmas and New Year's, Every day we go stop by a couple people's house, or they stop by here. We're not going to be here to do that. So, unfortunately, our visitation is going to be very limited, and my family comes first. My daughter's son-in-law, my grandson, my brother, my sister-in-law, his daughter, her husband, my niece. They don't have any children. So I got to kind of compact everything into, a night and a day, and then we got to head off. So I'll miss out on our usual visiting we do with Kenny and the crew and whatnot. So I think probably Friday night, pay him an early visit, Try to hit a couple of guys in the crew Friday night. So, and Saturday night. And do it that way. Christmas Eve is Sunday, right? Christmas Day, Monday. I guess we're leaving Tuesday. So, I guess that's about it. So I'll catch up with you a little bit tomorrow. Maybe Friday, maybe a little bit. Can't promise nothing. We got a lot of things to do now going forward. So, anything I left out? Any other big project claims? That was going to be in the year 2023. Spit it out. That's why my channel's here. It's more about you than me. I give people a place to let out what they have to say that they're not allowed to say it in other places. They get banned and blocked and whatnot. And I know a lot of them, your Uncle Brian Group is a coward, then we say it on your channel. Believe me, a lot of them have said shit on his fucking channels. They get fucking banned and blocked by his wife. She's I've had people tell me, man, she's so fucking annoying. How the fuck can he put up with her? Just hearing that voice, Then again, she's got to put up with him. So I guess they were meant for each other. A match made in hell. Okay, I got to get going. Have a great day. Have fun and stay safe. I'll see you a little bit tomorrow or maybe Friday. And after that, we're going for over a week, okay? Pickle sniffers should be happy, okay? Seriously, hope you appreciate the things I do for you.